Putin News Now. Significant gains have been made by Kyiv against Putin's forces in Bakhmut. A U.S. think tank concluded that Ukrainian forces had achieved tactically significant gains over Russian troops in the Bakhmut area. Ukraine has made gains against Vladimir Putin's forces in at least 3 other sectors of the front, according to the Institute for the Study of War. These sectors include the north and south of Bakhmut. In recent months, Bakhmut has been the epicenter of violence, with Ukrainian and Russian forces fighting from trenches with relentless artillery and rocket strikes across a heavily mined battlefield described as a meat grinder by commanders on both sides. After Joe Biden agreed to ship cluster bombs to Ukraine to help in their fight against Russia, Rishi Sunak made it clear that Britain discourages their use. Following the difficult decision made by the US President, the UK Prime Minister on Saturday noted that the country was one of 123 to sign a convention banning their use. Instead of supporting Kyiv, Britain is providing tanks and long-range weapons, according to Mr. Sunak, who will meet with Mr. Biden in London on Monday before a NATO summit. After Joe Biden agreed to send cluster munitions to Ukraine to aid in the fight against Russia, Rishi Sunak made it clear Britain discourages the use of cluster munitions. Following the difficult decision made by the US President, the UK Prime Minister on Saturday noted that the UK was one of 123 signatories to a convention banning their use. Instead of supporting Kyiv, Britain is providing tanks and long-range weapons, according to Mr. Sunak, who will meet with Mr. Biden in London on Monday before a NATO summit. A senior commander of Yevgeny Prigozhin's Wagner Group was quoted as saying that the group's members were preparing to relocate to Belarus as part of a deal that diffused their mutiny against Russia's military leadership. The whereabouts of Prigozhin and his mercenaries have been unknown since the mutiny on June 23 and 24, during which Wagner fighters briefly seized a southern Russian city and marched towards Moscow. Some of Prigozhin's men were ex-convicts who had been released early to fight in Ukraine. Under the terms of the agreement that put an end to the mutiny, they were given the choice to follow him to Belarus, join the regular Russian military, or return home. A question mark has been cast over the efficacy of the deal after Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko claimed on Thursday that Prigozhin and thousands of his fighters were still in Russia. On Saturday, a channel on the Telegram messaging app quoted Anton Yelizarov, aka Lotus, as saying that, per Prigozhin's orders, the fighters were on vacation until early August before relocating to Belarus. We have to prepare bases, training grounds, coordinate with local governments and administrations, organize interaction with the law enforcement agencies of Belarus, and establish logistics, he was quoted as saying on the Yevgeny Prigozhin on Telegram channel. Reuters was unable to independently verify the interview's claims. Over the past 2 weeks, Prigozhin has been unusually quiet. Since defending his troops' mutinous actions on June 26, he has not made any new posts on his favorite Telegram channel, Yevgeny Prigozhin Press Service.